So guys, today I've been thinking about the age that we're living in right now, where it seems as though your skin color, your gender, and your sexuality can get you a job before your merit and your values do. Some examples that I think of are our Vice President Kamala Harris, Ketanji Brown Jackson, who just recently got put on the Supreme Court. And we have so many organizations and corporations that are engaging in this form of hiring, even down to the United States military. So let's have a quick talk about affirmative action. And I want you to send this to somebody who agrees with affirmative action, hiring, bonuses, opportunities. Let's debunk this idea. So there are many things that I think of when it comes to affirmative action. For some of you, the first thing that might come to mind are college applicants getting into schools like Harvard, Yale, Princeton, simply because of their race and their gender or their sexuality, and not because of the academic standards that they have. This has notoriously hurt both white applicants to schools and Asians more so than anybody. Asian Americans have to perform extremely well in academics in order to get into schools, even though they meet the academic standards of those schools or surpass them, because their race is not one that is seen as preferable. And a lot of people on the left and progressive end of things has fought for it, saying, black people were discriminated against in the past. Notice how these conversations are almost always only in reference to black individuals, but they say black people were discriminated against in the past, and thusly we must discriminate against white people and other races in the present to make up for that, which is why we have things like affirmative action, hiring, and opportunities. But I want to talk about how affirmative action can actually contribute and create a racist climate in wherever this is being applied. Let's just break this down really simply. On its face, affirmative action is discrimination. If I'm looking through a list of applicants and I go, well, that one's black, let's put them at the top of the list. And even though they don't have the same requirements met, they don't have the same standards met, they're still at the top of the list, and I'd hire them before I hire another white person. On its face, that's discrimination, isn't it? I think we can't run from that at all. But let's talk about how it actually harms the black applicants in this case. If I'm a black person who's applied to a job and gotten the job simply because of my race, what has that done? It's robbed me of knowing that I could achieve this job on my own merit, on my own value, on my own ability. So now I have to walk through life wondering, okay, well, did I get this opportunity because of what I've done or because of who I am? So you're essentially doing that to every single person of color who is given these opportunities. Let's step outside of how it affects people of color and talk about how it affects non-people of color. Let's say you're getting on a flight on Delta. And Delta has expressed in the weeks prior that they've done a ton of affirmative action hiring. They've hired a lot of pilots based on race and trying to boost the racial diversity of their employees. You get on a plane to see a black pilot, wave and say hello and sit down. What goes through your mind there? Do you think about the fact that that man was hired based on nothing more than merit? Or does it go through your mind that he was hired based on race? And it actually sows seeds of mistrust in the people who get to watch these people get hired or get these opportunities. Because now you are now looking at other people of color and saying, did that person get the job based on their merit? Or did they get it based on their race? So you've created a racist climate all around. And all of this affirmative action hiring stuff, really, in it, when you delve into it and look at it, you hear this quote, the soft bigotry of low expectations. I don't like that quote all that much because I do think it's just straight bigotry. It's hard bigotry of low expectations. You should not give people a boost based on their race. That should not play a factor in the opportunities that you give them. It should not play a factor in you hiring them. It should not play a factor in the way that you judge a person. All you need to do is look at their values, look what they've achieved, look if they meet your standards, look at their character, and that's how you should make a decision. And in applying these affirmative action principles all across the board, in our public institutions, our corporations, in media, in virtually every aspect of our lives, we are doing ourselves a disservice. Not to mention with college. We've seen studies come out that Black kids who are being sent to schools based on affirmative action applications and acceptance are suffering. They're being put in schools where they don't meet the standards simply because of their race, instead of being matched with a school that matches their academic standing. So you are setting Black people and people of color up to fail, and you are setting non-people of color in a situation that creates a racist climate with affirmative action. Yet we will get told up and down that it's the best way to treat the problems that we're facing right now as Americans, or to treat the past discrimination that we put people of color through. And I'm telling you right now, this is not the way to do it. Ibram X. Kendi, who is famous for talking about things like white fragility and white privilege and the racial fight in America, says that you fix past discrimination with present discrimination. How is it that we dig ourselves out of an era of racism, and I mean systemically legislated racism, only to do it again, but in a positive manner? There is no such thing as positive discrimination, at least when it pertains to race. I'm telling you now. And I hope that everybody who sees sort of the affirmative action movements that are being made in this country, after hearing this, questions them and realizes that this is not the way that we move forward. We need to start moving towards race neutrality. I don't like the word colorblind anymore because it makes it sound like we can't see what color people are. We can see what color people are. We just don't care. We need to start moving towards race neutrality, taking race off of applications, off of these opportunities, and just judging people based on who they are. Can't believe there needs to be a whole video to explain that to some people, but here we are. Let me know, have you ever experienced affirmative action? Have you been directly affected by it? Have you been chosen due to affirmative action? Have you seen other people who have experienced it? Have you ever had a problem with affirmative action? Or do you think it's something that we need to be engaging in as a society in order to right the wrongs of our past? Drop that in the comments down below. Hopefully it sparks some healthy debate between the people who watch these videos. And please like, subscribe, click the notification bell to be notified every single time we post a new piece of content for you guys, because we're constantly posting. And if you'd like to listen to us, go to Google Play, Spotify, or Apple Podcasts. Leave us a 5-star review, because the people who love affirmative action leave us 1-star reviews. Not all of you. Some of you appreciate what I have to say anyways, and I thank you so much for watching. Put your thoughts down below. Bye, guys.